The long await is finally over. Weeks, months, we've been waiting for a Titan victory. Last time we saw it, there were Christmas decorations up. Finally here. We're going to jump into it, get into all things Titans this week. Sammy, start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Ladies and gentlemen, 94 yards. Touchdown, Titans. He is the baddest man in the NFL, and he just took her to the house.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast.
Sick!
It's gonna be sick.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Talking Titans. We are live, post-game wrap-up. I'm here with Jarrett. Vinny's on his way out of the stadium. I got a brief 5-second FaceTime with him. His buddy in his Chargers jersey. His head is hanging very low. Vinny's very inebriated. It's a very exciting day. Jarrett, what are your instant thoughts on this game?
I had to crack open another beer after this game because it's like a typical Titans win. Stresses you the hell out, especially in overtime. I knew that Chargers were going to go right down the field. Our defense was like Swiss cheese to kick the game-tying field goal. But I had all confidence going into overtime just because of the fact of I knew, they were going to kick off. Our defense was going to hold them. And I didn't know that we were going to go down the field to kick a game-winning field goal, but I predicted it, though, on the show. I did say Nick Folk was going to go down. Listen.
Absolutely.
But the offense, it was sluggish right from the start. Everybody on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, was calling for Tannehill's head. All right, I think it's time. But you know what? I scrolled. I kept quiet. I just said, this is a pitiful offense at that point in time in the first quarter. It was pitiful for the first 5.5 quarters. Okay? Then they started picking up. But why does it take every single person on our podcast, if we call out the obvious with Ryan Tannehill, he's playing like garbage, why does everybody come after us? But when somebody else says it, it's okay. Ryan Tannehill stepped up. Yeah, it is, because we state the obvious here. We're all diehard Titan fans. We always want them to win. We're searching for that Super Bowl. But if we're stating that the quarterback is bad, I mean, you may have taken it a little too far by saying just bench him right now. Give him the opportunity. He still is not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm still 50% in. I'm still 50% in on him.
Of course.
He needs to continually build on this all the way to the end of the season and prove to me that you can go 20 of 24 for 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. His offensive line looked like shit today. Okay, granted,
not in the second half. Not in the second half.
Not in the second half. But you know what? In the second half, he started to roll out a little bit with Tim Kelly.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it takes us so long, because we looked good in the second half. And after the first, I think, 4 or 5 drives, I think 3 drives, we had 210 yards in 3 drives.
Yeah.
Why does it take us so long to get accustomed to the game?
Yeah. Listen, the bottom line is, as far as he has the ability as a thrower of the football to be successful in the NFL. He does. He has the ability to do it. But he doesn't have the ability to evade sacks anymore. I'm certain of that. Well, I'm not certain, but I feel like I'm pretty certain about that. And I don't think mentally he has the capability to forget mistakes and be a true leader. I just don't have that faith in him at all. Do I think on his best day he has the capability of beating anyone in the league? On his best day? Possibly. We just saw him technically beat Justin Herbert. But am I going into a Sunday afternoon against any team in the NFL, and saying I'm confident with Ryan Tannehill under center? Of course not. And anyone with a brain, anyone with eyeballs would know there has been no consistency over the past year plus with this guy. Absolutely none. And it's going to take more than a couple 70-yard bombs with no pressure to make me believe that if we get to January, he's going to be able to win a game. And I'm very I'm the happiest kid ever. We won a game. I was jumping up and down when he made those throws. I want Tannehill to succeed. I want to make the playoffs. I want to win above all else. But at the end of the day, I'm a die-hard Titan fan, and I'm not going to let what somebody did 4 years ago affect my beliefs of what I think the reality is that, we're gonna reach a dead end with this guy, and it's okay because we're gonna play him the rest of the year, and I'm fine with it. It's whatever. I want them to win above all else. But I mean, I don't know. I'm very happy. Good.
Listen, they need to scheme up more plays, and we saw it in the second half. Okay, get him out of the pocket like he did with DeAndre Hopkins on that last play. Okay, he needs to get more involved because if I go into the stat line right now, Hopkins had five targets for 4 catches and 40 yards. You guys got to they have to. Yeah, but they have to get them more involved. I mean, I'm sitting on my couch. You're sitting on my couch. Everybody's sitting on their couch knowing that Derrick Henry's getting the ball. Get a little creative. I understand that, it opened up for the long shots, and people are probably going to say, oh, what the hell is this guy talking about? Yeah, he had two long bombs. Okay, where's the crossers? Keep going with that. Don't keep feeding Derrick Henry. We said that he wanted more touches. He only had 12 touches or 17 touches. He had 30 in the game today, which is huge. He had 4 receptions and he had 25 carries for 80 yards. I mean,
Sammy, feel free to throw up some comments while Jarrett's talking. By the way,
yeah, it took a giant step from last week. Okay, and the offensive line without Peter Skoronski, I think Dylan Raduns came in. He did an okay job for the first time in a year and a half. From that ACL. So it was a huge giant step, in my opinion, going into Cleveland next week. So we just have to build on that and continue to build on that. Yeah. Get our guys more targets.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm comforted a little bit by some of the comments I'm seeing already. Obviously very happy that we won. That's what we want above all else. But DO9 says Tannehill's still not good enough, which is absolutely correct. We got bailed out on a lot of calls. That's correct. They got some calls too. And then a weekend over here, lateral movement is very suspect. I mean, that's just the facts. Him getting out of a pocket when it's collapsing, good luck with that. It's not going to happen.
But we've seen that for 2 straight games now, and going back to last year. Okay, now as coaching staff, and I think they're going to do it because I'm positive with this because we've seen growth from week 1 to week 2. They need to start moving the pocket, moving him out of the pocket to not create those where he's standing in the pocket and he just one steps up and gets sacked or he pinballed like last week. They have to start moving the pocket. Okay. And I think we're going to see that more and more going forward because we've seen the week 1 and 2 where what was it last game? 4 sacks and now 5 sacks again today.
A team that didn't have any last week, by the way, not 1 sack last week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, offensive line, it appears they have the talent to be successful. They just need a first half every week to get going.
Yeah,
we hope that doesn't.
They need a couple more games. It's a brand new offensive line, so hopefully we eat crow. And I'm sure everybody's trying to shove it down our throat too. But you know what? We're real Titan fans, man. We just want to win every fucking game.
Yep.
I'm sorry to say it.
Rip a pack. You're 100% right. Spears was fantastic today. Cameron. Ray Dunes, I think, was a major reason why they played much better in the second half, putting him in there. I think he filled in nicely. Listen, there's a lot of positives to take away from this football game. There's absolutely plenty. I mean, we just beat one of the top quarterbacks in this league and really, did a fair job holding them. We really did. I think we could have exploited their defense more. Miami had an absolute field day last week. We didn't get as much, through the air as I would have liked to see. But at the end of the day, we won the game. The second half, Tannehill made the throws that he needed to make, and we're walking out of here, tied for first in the division. I want to say this, though. I'll be honest with everyone. Wasn't happy with Tim Kelly's, play calling today. Was not happy with it really at all. I saw a lot of the same we've seen before, run, pass. I've said multiple times on previous weeks, when you're having issues getting the quarterback out of the pocket, when you're having issues moving the football down the field, maybe put in your elusive, absolutely out of this world athletic quarterback in for a trick play. We did it last year. Why are we not doing it this time around? The guy's got a full year under his belt. You should maybe not see the fumbles that we saw last year and things like that. He's acclimated to the NFL. Get him in there. Throw people off. We're using Spears as a decoy. Think about how many times you use Spears. Put him in the game. Everyone thinks we're going to pass, and we run. We do the same thing with Malik. Put Malik in there. Everyone thinks we're going to do a wildcat run with him. Then he rolls out and he rips it down the field. We know he has the arm for it. So, I need to see more creativity out of Tim Kelly. Did a fantastic job first week. Didn't see anything creative this week, but I'm not going to be too much of a downer. Jarrett, I want your thoughts on the secondary this week because even though we had some injuries, nothing to write home about. Avery and Murphy Bunting, I think, got absolutely toasted throughout the whole day. But what were your thoughts on the secondary and defense overall?
They did get torched a little bit. Like I said, the play. I mean, not the play. The drive going into overtime. It was like Swiss cheese. It feels like every single team does it to score, to get a field goal, and they play loose coverage. They go off. They know the slants are coming. They just don't want to play tight coverage on them. I don't know why, but I think for the most part, I know Keenan Allen had 2 touchdowns, and Mike Williams was all over the field.
Keenan Allen had a day.
Yeah, Keenan Allen had 2 touchdowns and 111 yards or whatever it was. But they gave it up, but it was bend not break. The for the most part, our
24 points is that's a fair amount. It's a fair amount, but you're right.
It's not 34, and we knew that. Yep. Going into this, we had 2 huge guys out on defense.
Yeah, you're right.
With Fulton and Hooker, so 24, I'm okay with it. I predicted, what did I predict? I predicted 23-20, with Fulton kicking the game-winning field goal. So it wasn't that, that far behind, 4 more points. But like I said, this defense, man, it's going to keep us in games every single week. Yep. We just need to be able to sustain drives and get this shit clicking with the offensive line. When they get cohesive, when they get like camaraderie on the offensive line after a couple games and there's film on them and they start studying themselves, all right, you go there, I go here, blah, 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 all that other stuff. I think in the later half of this season, like we always do, I think we're going to start gelling more and more and more. So hopefully, like I said, we build on this. But I'll get your take on the defense. But I just want to go back onto the offense because on that one play where Derrick Henry, when we scored the go-ahead touchdown, Henry got down to the 1 or 2, and then obviously the whole stadium's chanting Henry, Henry, Henry. Everybody knows everyone knows he's getting the ball. Why are we not pulling, but I don't know the terminology, but they literally shifted every single offensive lineman like a not like a zone read, but like whatever it is. I don't know. The whole line shifted and Henry was going. Why not just go straight dives or ISOs with that? Everybody just man to man, just bull rush, not bull rush, but block in front of you instead of moving the whole entire line. We got to go 1 yard. And we lost 3 yards on that too.
Yeah, you can make a lot of critiques about Tim Kelly's decision making. Didn't do nearly enough play action, just not enough. This team's offense, especially when it comes to throwing the football, is so centered around play action, and it works so much. And we fail to do it enough times. And it's just a shame. I hope that starts moving forward. But one thing I need to bring up, and I'm not going to be able to let this go. And because of the win, people are going to let it go. The lack of timeout calling at the end of that game, it was absolutely horrific coaching by Mike Vrabel. Me and my dad went back. We wanted to make sure that we weren't seeing things. They had a first down conversion at around, I want to say, the 20-yard line with 1 minute and 5 seconds and 3 timeouts left. You have got to use those timeouts with the thought process that there is a better than good chance that a top 10 quarterback in the league is going to get this football in the end zone, and you're going to need to have something prepared. He put all of his eggs in the basket of stopping the touchdown or getting the field goal, and then he got bailed out. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible decision by him. And he's got to do better with his clock management. That's been my biggest knock on him since he's come here. His clock management has never been great. He has a habit of absolutely wasting timeouts in first halves and second halves, and it needs to stop. The bottom line is defensive line bailed him out in an incredible pass rush on that 3rd down to make him kick that field goal. And, he's just – the thing is, those timeouts mean nothing. They literally mean nothing. Using them cannot hurt you in any way. It's the last possession of the game. You're either going to stop them on downs or they're going to kick a field goal. It makes no sense why you want to continue to have the clock run off, because if they turn the ball over, the game's over anyway. So it made no sense. He needs to use the timeouts, but that, again, I don't want to harp too much on the bad. They won the game, but it never ends. We got to go every game on our knees with tears in our eyes, praying we get it done. But Nick Folk, I commend you. 6 kicks, ice water kicks. He didn't have, it looked like he had not an ounce of worry. They barely even showed him. He just stepped up, said 41 yards. Adios, see you tomorrow. And really, it's too early to crown the guy.
I don't stress anymore when we go for kicks. I really don't.
Why did you say that? Why the fuck did you? Dad, you know what he just said? He goes, I don't stress anymore when we have kicks.
Well,
That
it's
is
the
the
truth.
piss
We've
of
been
fuck-
we
Sam.
it,
Sammy,
it is.
I don't want. It pains me to say this.
It
but
is.
you're
It
gonna,
is the
you
kiss
need
of
to
death.
clip
Well,
that. You need to clip. I can't believe you. This guy makes fucking 2 weeks of kicks, and you're gonna call him fucking.
It's refreshing, like
Adam
Vinny says.
Vinatieri now.
It's refreshing.
You
like
better
Vinny says.
pray to God he doesn't miss a kick next week, because I will make this clip so viral it's gonna hurt. But anyway,
All right, one more thing before we go on to defense to get your take really quick.
Yep.
There's
go ahead.
one guy that needs to get off the field immediately, and somebody
Avery?
needs to come. No, somebody needs to come up from the practice squad right now, and it's Thomas Odukoyo or whatever. Odukoyo, get Wesco the hell off the field.
Is that a tight
Get
end?
Wiley off the field.
Yeah, Wiley.
Huge penalties. They can't catch. Get a whatever the hell
Wiley,
is Thomas
I was so
Odukoyo
excited.
on the field. Yeah, we all were 6'7". It just they look lost. Huge penalties. Vrabel was screaming at them on the field. Like, I don't understand. Just switch them. Switch them.
Yeah.
Odukoyo,
And,
get your ass up from the practice squad.
And
real.
listen, Hopkins needs to be more involved. He
Yes.
has to be. You're an offensive coordinator. It's your fucking job to make sure these guys get involved. Do what you need to do to get the ball in this guy's hands. He's an elite player. Okay. I mean, really, just because Tannehill shit the bed, you're gonna stop throwing him the ball? No. Keep throwing him the ball 10 times a game. He's a top 5 guy. He's a top 5 set of hands in the league. Again, we're harping on a lot. I don't want to be the podcast that comes live after a win and just shits on the team, because I already have that stigma around me anyway.
We're not shitting on nothing. We're just
No,
we
I know.
We want
the best. We
building
want the
on
best.
this.
No, but
Yes,
I'm just
that's
saying it's
it.
unfortunate that a lot of our fan base takes any negativity we say as, not being true fans. No, it's because we're such diehard fans that we can't accept mediocrity. When mediocrity shoved in our face, which
believe me,
a lot lately.
they could say anything they want to, every single fan, because deep down inside they're still searching for that Super Bowl like we are too.
Of course,
Okay?
of course,
So
and they're
we're
searching
not-
for that
we're-
quarterback.
Yep.
But listen, as far as my opinion on the defense, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. For the sake of my sanity, I'm going to assume that the loss of Fulton and Hooker had a major impact on, how poor we were in pass coverage. Now, we weren't very good last week in pass coverage, and we had those guys back. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But the bottom line is secondary is not elite. Defensive line is elite. Together, they create still a better, well above average defense. But the defensive line and especially the run stopping, which obviously we've been acclimated to get used to, it's just been absolutely insane. Tier Tart, one of the best run defenders I've ever seen on this team. I mean, he had a swing move today that just absolutely out of this world. Bottom line is we're bending and not breaking. And that's just the kind of the Titans mantra defensively. You got to hope that secondary gets better. That way all things can come together and we can keep even those field goals off the board. But, holding 24 points, Justin Herbert, after a very difficult loss they dealt with, very impressive. I didn't have us win in this game, and we did. And just a lot of credit. I give Tannehill a lot of credit in the sense that everything was going against him, and everyone was on his ass. And he showed up in the second half, and I'll give him props for that. And I said into my video after the game, am I waking up next Sunday thinking, hey, Tannehill's going to beat Deshaun Watson? Of course not. Of course I don't. I don't assume that. I think it's possible, and I'm going to root for it. But we need more consistency out of this guy in year 11. And when we get that, then I'll maybe open the door of having some confidence in him in the postseason. But right now, we got to just build on wins, get better on all phases of the football, and that's it. That's the bottom line. So Alex goes, secondary's been weak for a few years. Front seven bails them a lot. I would have to agree. Another Titan fan from Jersey. So shout out to you, Alex. What do you think, Jarett? I mean, I think the secondary has always been a little bit, I guess the word would be kind of phony, where we think they're really good, and then just because they don't put up a lot of points, they're really, I don't know. Avery and Murphy Bunting were an absolute liability today. I think you would agree.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, Trey Avery did step up in certain situations, but they got 6'3", 6'4", and their tight end, they got pissed on, and it's Herbert.
Bunting got torched.
Okay, he did, but you know what?
Torched.
It's still Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, he's going to make plays. We knew that this was going to happen.
No, I get that,
especially with Fulton and everything. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm responding the way
they got torched last week, so
they did, and okay, the front bails them out. Okay,
Yeah.
the front does bail them out, but it's week 2.
It
We
is
got the
that, of
win
course,
against
you're
a
right.
really great,
Of course. That could all
Justin Herbert
change.
quarterback. It could. They have to get their feet wet still. I still love Roger McCreary. Coming out. He played, in my opinion, he played a great game. He had some help from Bunting, but still, when you have one guy out and one guy has to go to nickel, then the other guy plays one corner, then he has to go to the other corner because the other guy's comfortable like that. It does shift shit around a little bit. So we'll see what happens next week going into Cleveland. So thoughts on Cleveland really quick, because Tim Kelly is very familiar with Deshaun Watson. Mike Vrabel is very familiar with Deshaun Watson. Do you think that's a competitive advantage since we've seen him so many years with Houston? What are your thoughts going on to next week?
Unfortunately, I've just watched too many Titan games. We don't get advantages. We typically don't. I don't think that's going to have any effect on anything. I think Cleveland's defense is very good. I listen. We beat Justin Herbert today, so I'm gonna wake up on Sunday morning and not because I had no confidence in this team winning today. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow or Sunday morning with a little more juice because we pulled something off pretty spectacular. So with that being said, they got pretty good receivers. They got a great quarterback. We're going to see if they're going to continue that tonight with what they did last week. Adam goes over under Myles Garrett sacks next week. I think a safe bet would be, and I'm dead serious, I think 2.5 is going to be the over under for Myles. Myles Garrett is a lot better than, people say he's great, but he's even better than most people even know. So we got to hope that side of Tannehill is protected a little bit better than it was. But it's going to be a fun matchup, I think.
With that said, if we're talking about that, and you were talking about last week with Ryan Tannehill, how far that leash is with Tannehill, Dilliard hasn't been playing great at left tackle.
Well,
now that Ray Dunes is back, what do you think that is? What do you think that leash is for Dilliard and possibly moving Ray Dunes over at left tackle? Because he played a hell of a game 2 years ago, was it, against Nick Bosa when he stepped in for Taylor Lewan? And I think that's his natural position too. So, I would love to see that happen if Dilliard continues to struggle.
Whatever works. The run blocking, I think, was pretty sufficient most of the game. It's just going to come down to who we use. I haven't said this yet. Somebody brought it up, and I said it quickly, but Tajay Spears, man, this kid is the fucking real deal. This kid is the real deal. He's
6.1 yards per carry.
He's shifty. He's slippery. He can catch the ball. Call me crazy, but in the first 2 games, I'm seeing a legit semi-transition. Listen, this is where we're going. Just be prepared for it, and you can understand why. He's a great guy on those 3rd and shorts because he's so elusive that when things don't go, because that's the thing with Derrick Henry, he's great. But if he hits a pile of bodies on that line of scrimmage, it's tough for him because he's so big. With guys like Spears, they're very shifty. They get around on the edges real easily. I think he's gonna change a lot of games for us this year. And I know you agree.
I'm waiting for him to break one, man, because it's gonna be electric. Because it's Derrick Henry 2.0. It's like thunder and lightning, smash and dash, like we did.
Yeah. So Awaken says that Tennessee plays their speed, usually slower, running the ball, keep the scoring around 20, and wear teams down the low close. Yeah, that's unfortunately been our recipe for a decade now, and it would be nice not having to worry about making a stand in the red zone in every 4th quarter to win a game. But when your offense can't get going, that's the only way you're going to win. You're going to have to low score and stop them when it's their time. We'll see how it goes. But the bottom line is another thing. It's obviously very early to tell, but it appears we're going to get out of this game significantly healthy, or at least relatively, I should say. Didn't look like anyone was helped off the field, so that's obviously great. Hopefully Hopkins is able to, be more closer to 100%. Looked like he might have been a little bit sluggish today, but huge catches, absolutely huge catches. And he said to Ryan Tannehill in that huddle, me and my dad saw it, He said, I got you. I don't know what else he said, but he looked at him. He said, I got you. And sometimes you got to do that. And I hope
I got to replay that. Yeah, I got to replay that.
He said it looked right in his eye. Said, I got you. Somebody's got to tell this fucking guy that he's got a top 10 receiver on his team, because sometimes it looks like he doesn't know. Just like he didn't know when we had Julio Jones to throw to the guy.
When he was on the field.
When he was on the field. But, I digress. But listen, a lot to be positive about. At the end of the day, if they lost this game with the possibility of being 0-3 on the road, it would have been really the twilight zone for a lot of us fans. So they did what needed to get done. There's a ton of things to clean up. But at the end of the day, you get the job done, and that's what you're looking for. So, I think we're going to wrap it up today. I think we did a nice little post-game show. And, anything else you want to throw in there before we wrap it up?
Nothing. We go we record on Tuesday night. We're gonna have Vin
Tuesday
back.
Night.
So love to see what his reaction was, how everything was with the tailgates. Just see his vibe for the whole game. So that's gonna be dropping on Wednesday.
Yep.
And just listen, on to Cleveland, man. Let's clean things up. Let's build on this win. We have the momentum now, so hopefully, we'll see what happens with tonight with Cleveland and the Saints. But I'm ready for week 2.
Like
I got the boys coming over week 4, so hopefully we'll be good for a win.
Yep, that's right. Week 4. That's right. Week 4, Dad. We're going to Jarrett's house. Well, I mean, if you're around, we'll see. We'll play it by ear. But well, that's the what game is that anyway? Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be together for that game anyway, because they're gonna get fucking torched. But anyway, I'm kidding, guys. Don't get upset. Listen, make sure everyone that's watching, first of all, the 30, 40 of you guys that were in here, thanks for stopping in with us and watching and celebrating with us together. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all the positive comments we've been getting over the past couple of weeks of everyone telling us, they're enjoying the content. This is why we do it, and this is why we're going to continue to do it. So make sure to continue to help us out, like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to be chugging along. So as always, guys, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend. We'll see you a little bit later on in the week, and it's going to be a nice, fun Victory Monday for everyone. So I hope everyone's having a great day. Cheers. Everyone enjoy their time with their family, and we'll catch you on the flip, guys. Tighten up. Sammy, send me out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.